It's our NBA panel this morning, consisting of DraftKings contributor Kenny Ducey and host of the Four Seasons podcast for Ball is Life. That's Ryan Magdziarz. Building blocks, my bros. So who are you building your lineups around at the following positions? So start us off at guard, Kenny.
I like Malcolm Brogdon here, Emerson, $7,600. I'm going to give you a few true building blocks, and we're going to build to a really expensive play I really like. The Pacers are locked in a battle here. They're at number 9 in the East. Of course, as we all know, no teams want to be 9 and 10. You want to be 7. Ideally, you don't want to be in the play-in tournament at all, but the Pacers are fighting for those 2 top spots in the play-in tournament. They're Brogdon 47.5 DK fantasy points per game over the last 5, 116 implied team total from Vegas. And Doug McDermott is questionable here. Could give Brogdon a little more volume if he needs any anyway. He was at a 32.4 usage rate last game. I think the Pacers are going to lean on him a lot here in a big game for them. And I expect Malcolm Brogdon to return 5 or 6x here at this price.
That's great. Yeah, very affordable at $7,600. Who you got, Ryan?
I got somebody also very affordable. Joe Ingles, $6,200. Donovan Mitchell's out. We know that he suffered a bad ankle sprain. And the Jazz really use Ingles as a ball handler in a ton of sets. And even this morning, I want to keep an eye on Connolly because he's probable. But I think the Jazz are a little beat up right now. Ingles just last game, 53 fantasy points in 39 minutes for the Jazz. So the Jazz use him a lot without Mitchell.
All right, so take me to forward then. Who's your guy there, Ryan?
Forward, I like Jayson Tatum. And I'm kind of playing the card of who's hot. Again, just like Ingles is hot, Tatum is hot. He's $10,000, so I'm paying up for Tatum. They play Chicago. Jaylen Brown has a unrelated COVID illness, and I think Kemba got the same thing because that's what the reports say this morning. So if Kemba's out and Jaylen Brown is out, Tatum is going to get a ton of shots. And last game with Brown out, Tatum had 68 fantasy points. I think scored 44 American buckets. So I love Tatum against Chicago tonight.
All right, Kenny, who's your building block at forward?
I'm going to stick in this game between the Pacers and the Spurs. I'm going to go with DeMar DeRozan at $8,000. One of the reasons that I really like Malcolm Brogdon and like this game in general is that the Pacers are number 1 in pace over the last 10 games. Something that makes DeMar DeRozan a sweeter play here is that the Pacers have had some huge defensive issues. They rank 25th in defensive rating over the last 10 games, so they're speeding it up and they're letting them score. And I think DeMar DeRozan here is in a really good spot at $8K. He's seen around the 38 minutes over the last 2. Last time out, he had a 32.7 usage rating with 50 DKFP. They look to him. And again, this is really a big game for both sides. The Spurs as well are battling for seeding out west. So I expect a lot of points here in a fast-scoring game, or fast-paced game, rather, a high-scoring game. The Spurs also haven't been great defensively either, Emerson. The Pacers, of course, have been the worst over the last 10, but the Spurs not far behind. So I like DeMar DeRozan to fill it up here. And again, 8K is pretty nice price to pay for him.
All right, let's go to big, beefy centers here, Kenny. 3 guys that'll cost you at least 10-6. You going one of them?
Absolutely. This is one of my staples. This is one of the rules of thumb here. You always want to attack the Golden State front court. They're weak. They're the weakest front court in the NBA, in my opinion. The numbers would back that up for sure. Joel Embiid here is 10.7K. The Golden State Warriors have a 48.5% rebounding rate over the last 10 games. They are 23rd in points in the paint in that span, and they have the second worst rebounding rate in the entire league for the entire season. They've dealt with a lot of injuries there, but you know what? They're still dealing with injuries there. They still don't have James Wiseman. Kevon Looney, he's not very good down there. He's not a very good defender. And Draymond Green is generally on the perimeter. He's rotating around. He's not always just locked into the big man. I don't think he's really going to be locked into defending Joel Embiid tonight. So I don't know if they're going to be throwing him on Joel Embiid the whole time. The Warriors also have a very bad 3-point defense. We know Joel Embiid likes to shoot the 3. So I just think that there's so many ways he can score here against a defense that's really slipped over the last month. This used to be a good defense, Emerson. This is now a terrible defense for Golden State, and they've never been able to defend big men well. So I think Joel Embiid's a smash spot here against the Golden State Warriors.
Ryan, give me your building block, the man in the middle.
Yeah, I love the Embiid pick, and he was my first choice. But now I'll do a consolation prize of paying up for Jokic. $11,000 versus Memphis. And the biggest reason is Joe Val is out. No Valanciunas tonight. So it's going to be Xavier Tillman trying to guard Jokic. And that's not going to be great for Memphis. Jamal Murray's out. So Jokic is going to get a lot more touches like he has been. So I think that this is also a smash play of Jokic.
All right, well, how about a value play, Ryan?
Sticking to that same game, Xavier Tillman, I think, might start for the Grizzlies, and he's $3,400. It's very good value. Like I said, no Joe Val tonight. I want to keep an eye on Brandon Clark. He is questionable just like every night on the entire earth. He's questionable every night. But 22 minutes played, Xavier Tillman, last game, even with Valanciunas in. So I know Coach likes Tillman, but no Jovel. I think Tillman gets even more bump of minutes.
All right, Kenny, building block. Need a value building block from you.
Yeah, I like Tillman, and there's, this is the state of the NBA now. There's so many people resting that there's so many opportunities here to take guys, between 3,000 and 3,500. So I'm not doing that, but it's sort of along the same lines. Dean Wade is $4,800 here. And I wanted to alert the people because Dean Wade was $4,800 about a week ago when he was on fire. His price went up over $5,000. He's now back down to $4,800 after a couple clunkers. But look, there's no Larry Nance, there's no Damian Dotson, there's no Dylan Windler for the Cavaliers. The Pistons have basically their entire roster out. Meanwhile, on the other side, or at least on the injury report, the minutes have been there when this team's been shorthanded. They've given Dean Wade the minutes. He's flashed 30 DKFP upside pretty consistently for this team. So I just think that, if you get a guy who's you could basically lock in for 30 minutes here and who's shown the ability to score about a fantasy point a minute, I think he's a pretty good play here because, again, it's just a building block play. You're going to get at least 5K, I think, out of Dean Wade, if not more. And this is just a game where there's going to be so many value plays. There's going to be so many random guys on the floor. Dean Wade might actually be one of the better players on the floor in this game. So, yeah, give me Dean Wade against a weaker Detroit defense without all these guys.